Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Supernatural Sunday. All right, now I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I put on a few pounds myself, I believe. But anyways, we're getting ready to move on into Supernatural. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to the subscribers, to those of you that watch the videos, to those of you that have not subscribed but still watch the videos. You're greatly appreciated. Going forward, I decided to cut back to one episode per show, especially throughout the holidays. It's just a busy time for everybody. And I don't want to take up everybody's time, trying to watch a 34 minute video when they've got other stuff to do to get ready for holidays and spend time with their families and things like that. So, going forward, it'll be one episode every Sunday until at least until after the holidays. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the next episode of season 5. Now, the next episode of season 5 is that we're going to do is season 5, episode 16, called Dark Side of the Moon. Now, we get some returning characters in this episode. I'm not going to say who they are because I want it to be a surprise if you haven't seen the episode before. One I will say, because I couldn't find footage, is Thunderbird Dinwiddie returns as Pamela in this episode. And of course, we got the running character of Zachariah, who's back in this episode and, creating havoc, however you want to put it. But anyway, this episode also stars Roger Aaron Brown, who plays a character by the name of Joshua. And he's also played in several films that were really, really good films. One of them being Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. And he also played in RoboCop 2 with Peter Weller. And he also played in Action Jackson with the late, great Carl Weathers. And Vanity was in that movie too. That was a pretty good action movie. It was full of one-liners, a lot of action. I liked it. And this episode also stars a Nels Lennerson as Walt, and he also played in the film Cabin in the Woods. He played in the very first Scary Movie, which was the Wayans Brothers spoof on all the different scary movies. And he also he had an uncredited role, actually, in the movie Countdown, which was a WWE film starring Dolph Ziggler and Glenn Jacobs, who everybody knows as Kane from WWE. It was a very good film, an excellent film for WWE. Dolph Ziggler and Kane were excellent. It also had Catherine Isabella, who played in the season finale of season 1 of Supernatural. She was I forgot what her name was. I can't believe I can't remember what her name was. But she was the one that was in the final battle with all the special people. And she was the big cheese, the big villain at the end. I can't believe I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, she also played in Ginger Snaps. She plays in Countdown with Niels Landerson and Dolph Ziggler and Glenn Jacobs. It's a great movie. And we also have Colin Ford returning as young Sam Winchester in this episode. And he did 39 episodes of Under the Dome. He did 12 episodes of Family Guy. And he had an uncredited role in Sweet Home, Alabama. Now, the plot for this episode is Dean and Sam are killed by the hunters Walt and Roy. They awake in heaven and Cass contacts them and asks them to seek out the angel Joshua. Meanwhile, Zachariah is chasing them in heaven to force Dean to be Michael's vessel. Okay, so here they are. They get killed by these two hunters. They get shot up to heaven. And while they're in heaven, Cass contacts him and says, "Hey, we got to find this angel Joshua. This guy talks to God. He can tell us where God is. So you need to find Joshua." This whole time they're trying to find Joshua, they've got Zachariah on their ass trying to catch them so he can put them back in their bodies and force them to play their roles. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into clips from Season 5, Episode 16, Dark Side of the Moon. Here we go.
Looking for this?
Morning.
Shut up. Hands where I can see them.
Is that you, Roy? It is, isn't it? Which makes you Walt. Hey, Walt. Is it just me, or do you two seem a tad upset?
You think you can flip the switch on the apocalypse? Just walk away, Sam?
Who told you that?
We ain't the only hunters after you.
I can explain, okay?
Stay the hell down.
Shoot him.
Killing Sam was right, but
Dean, he made us, and we just snuffed his brother, you idiot. You want to spend the rest of your life knowing Dean Winchester's on your ass? Because I don't.
But I'm gonna warn you. When I come back, I'm gonna be pissed.
Come on already.
Sammy?
Come on, let's go.
4th of July, 1996.
Dad would never let us do anything like this. Thanks, Dean. This is great.
Dean.
Gas?
Yeah, it's me.
Where am I?
Heaven.
Then where's Sam?
What do you see?
My dash. I'm in my car. I'm on a road.
All right, a road. For you, it's a road. Follow it, Dean. You'll find Sam. Follow. Road.
Gas. Hey. So I found Sam, but something just happened. There was this weird beam of light.
Don't go into the light.
Okay, thanks, Carol Ann. What was it?
Not what, who. Zachariah. He's searching for you.
And if he finds us?
You can't say yes to Michael and Lucifer if you're dead. So Zachariah needs to return you to your bodies. You need to find an angel. His name is Joshua.
So what's so important about Joshua?
The rumor is he talks to God.
And so?
You think maybe, just maybe, we should find out what the hell God has been saying? The road will lead you to the garden. You will find Joshua there. And Joshua, he can take us to God.
Who are you?
Buenos dias, bitches.
Ash?
Welcome to my blue heaven.
It even smells the same.
Bud, blood, and beer nuts. It's the best smell in the world.
How'd you find us?
I rigged up my very own Holy Rowan police scanner. That's Angels, blabbing and Noki. I heard that you were up. Of course I had to come find you. Again.
Again?
This ain't the first time you've been here. I mean, you boys die more than anyone I've ever met.
You're Joshua.
I'm Joshua.
So you talk to God?
Mostly, he talks to me.
Where is he?
On Earth?
Doing what?
I don't know.
Do you know where on Earth?
No, sorry. We don't exactly speak face to face.
Well, can you at least get him a message for us?
Actually, he has a message for you. Back off. He knows what the angels are doing. He knows that the apocalypse has begun. He just doesn't think it's his problem.
So he's just gonna sit back and watch the world burn?
I know how important this was to you, Dean.
No, forget it. Just another deadbeat dad with a bunch of excuses, right?
You can't kill the devil. And you're losing faith in yourself, your brother, and now this. God was your last hope.
So what now?
You go home again. This time, God wants you to remember.
Maybe Joshua was lying.
I don't think he was, Cass. I'm sorry.
You son of a bitch. I believed in. I don't need this anymore. It's worthless.
Cass, wait.
All right, so that's your scenes from this episode. It was a very good episode. But before we get in any farther, I usually do the 2 episodes and then I kind of break it up with this. But since I'm only doing 1 episode, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, coffee can do some wild things, can make you do some wild stuff. If you have too much, it can really juice you up. That being said, check this out. Yeah, you got to build up a tolerance for coffee. You got to have a tolerance for it. So here we go, folks. First cup, best cup. Oh, God, that is so good. It's so good. I'm going to have another. Thank you very much. You don't have to twist my arm. All right. Now, like I said, this episode, they got thrown up into heaven. They got killed by 2 hunters, which I find that just a little tad hard to believe. But anyways, so they're in heaven, and heaven apparently, according to the show, the way Ash explains it is it's everybody's thoughts, everybody's favorite memories. It's all kinds of worlds rolled up into one. So you have Sam going through some of his favorite memories, which aren't exactly some of the best of Dean's memories. Some of his memories are where he ran away. And of course, Dean got in trouble for not watching Sam when he ran away. But it was several days that Sam was by himself, which is what he wanted, was out of the business. So he was by himself for a few days, had a stray dog for a pet, had pizza and Funyuns. I mean, he was having a blast. And then you had Dean's side of it, where he got to eat pie with his mom, and spend time with his mother that he's missed so much. And, going through all this stuff, they're going through different aspects of their lives, their memories. The whole time they've got this light following them around, which they find out that's Zachariah trying to track them down. So then they get to running from Zachariah because he almost catches them. And then they end up being saved by this masked wrestler who turns out to be everybody's favorite, Ash. Ash is back in this episode. It was great to see Ash. I enjoy Ash so much. He's great. Now, this episode was kind of like, it was kind of a high point for season 5, up to this point. Large part in, it's such an offbeat kind of episode. It's an interesting way to contrast the bros' thoughts about what happens after death. And it's providing a fairly well thought out connection to heaven. Like I said, it's all, according to Ash, it's like all kinds of worlds rolled up into one. Everybody has their own little planet, pretty much. So, it's a very interesting way to see heaven, and the way it's played out and all that good stuff. And then we get to the end of the episode where we find out that God knows what's going on, but just doesn't think it's his problem anymore. So now you have Dean having to deal with this, deadbeat dad type issue situation, which he claims he's pretty much used to. But then Joshua looks at him and says, but I don't know if you can handle it this time. He's like, this was your big shot. He said, you're losing your faith, not only in everything, but also in your brother. And, you don't know if you're going to make it through this. And that kind of hit Dean pretty hard. And you could tell Sam was kind of upset because Dean's kind of losing faith, in him. But because of everything that's happened leading up to that, we understand why. And they're trying to work through it. They'll get through it eventually, but they are trying to work through it. But then you have to look at you have to see the look on Cass's face when he finds out what Joshua said. And he gives Dean his necklace back and tells him that he doesn't need it anymore, that it's useless. So Sam, not only Dean has lost faith, but Cass has lost faith in heaven as well. He, just mopes off and just disappears. Not really caring. And it's a tough situation, because here Cass thought he was doing what God's will was to fight off the apocalypse, and then turn around to find out that God just doesn't really care. So, they're all kind of down and downtrodden and losing faith. But they'll pick themselves up. They have to keep fighting. We know they will because they always do. This was a great episode, though. The character of Joshua is kind of a neat character. In this episode, of course, he says he talks to God, or God talks to him. Oh, excuse me. But he said he believes that it's kind of like a respect thing because they're both kind of like, what you'd say, gardeners. So, and he thinks it's because God gets bored and needs to talk to somebody. But anyway, Joshua's kind of a neat character. Roger Aaron Brown does an excellent job as playing Joshua. Of course, we don't get to see much of Walt and Roy, but that's okay too. They're just kind of cannon fodder, I think. But they have done some excellent films, both of them, I'm sure. And it's always good to see Colin Ford back as young Sam. Anytime we get a chance to see a young Sam and a young Dean Winchester, it's pretty neat, considering the guys that they actually had to play them actually kind of look like Sam and Dean grown up. So that's excellent. It makes it a little bit more believable, if you ask me. But anyway, this was an excellent episode, and we're moving slowly through season 5, but we will get to the end, and the end is going to be the excitement. I cannot wait to get to the season finale of this season because it was incredible. Just like all the others. All the other ones are good too. There's no doubt. There's no bad season finales. Well, but anyways, we're not getting into that. Pardon me, I had to have another drink. This was a great episode. This show is fantastic. I know I've said it time and time again, but it is absolutely fantastic. Now, like I said, going forward, it's going to be one episode a week, at least to the holiday season. We'll determine where to go once we get through the holidays. Coming up will be on Tuesday will be Mikey's Movie Rampage. And then, of course, Thursday will be a classic movie buffet theater. And then I'll see you back here next week for another episode of Supernatural, one of my favorite episodes. So, with that being said, I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye-bye.